Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, Made with Love. My name is Heather, and this week I've been really busy with my other channel. I've been cleaning my kitchen, so if you want to see cleaning and organization tips, check out my other channel, Beauty on a Budget with Heather G. So today I'm going to do something I've never really done. I always watch people do those dollar store haul type shows. I'm not going to do my full big thing, what I got. I'm just going to go quickly over what I've gotten last. This is actually be about 3 trips worth. We going to the Dollar Tree or Dollarama. I mean, I've gone to where I live. We've got, I think it's 5 Dollaramas. We were up to 2 Dollar Trees. We just lost one, so I haven't been to a Dollar Tree since the one that's closest to me has closed out. So, but I've been to like 4 other Dollaramas in its place. There's actually 2 really close to me, which is not good. But anyway, so I'll show you what I got. So of course, the first thing I went there looking for was the sock monkey. Dollarama was $3.50. It's kind of cute. Now, reading what you get. So the first thing you get in here, you're paying $3.50, and your first thing you get is a pair of socks. Well, I can get socks cheaper, but you know, it was a cute little kit. And so I wasn't at first I wasn't too iffy I was going to get it or not, so I actually put it back. And then the next day or two, I was back at the Dollarama, and I decided to just see what you got in the box. And when I got to the fact that you get a birth certificate form, I'm like, oh, that makes it worth the $3.50. So now I have to make him because he comes with a birth certificate. So I'll be making this probably tomorrow or the next day, like make it in the next like 1 to 3 days. I do want to get this made. A couple other things I found I've never seen are, these were $2 a pack from Dollarama, heart-shaped napkins. I didn't buy these for actual crafts. I just bought these to be on my dining room and the kitchen table, because the 14th is Valentine's Day, and then me and my husband, our wedding anniversary is the 15th, so we get like a double day. It's really nice when it's on a weekend. You get the whole weekend to celebrate. So I've got these two. I also found there was a couple different of these books. This stuff is all from Dollarama. So this was $2. You get 24 designs. So this is what this one has for designs. My daughter got one. I think she got the dog one, I think, because I know there was this one, it's the birds or something. I got this one. No, this is the, I don't know. Yeah, this is the bird watching one, mostly. And then I know they had a cat one, a dog one, unless the cat and dog were together. I don't know. They had a couple different packs. So for $2, you get 24 sheets. And my favorite one, which is a couple, but the first one I am going to do is going to be, oops, if I can open it up, the old Singer sewing machine. I believe it's going to be a Singer. I don't know. That's usually what I think of when I see those old sewing machines, as Singer. So that will be really fun to color. Oops. I also got a couple of these little wood what are these? Wood hangers. They were $2 each. I decided I know I can't even speak. Dollar Tree has them for about $1.25, but I didn't see any yet this last time I was there. I said I haven't been there since the one closed out, and I haven't made it to the other one yet. And I know they would be cheaper, you know, like $1.25 versus $2. But I always find that the ones I get at Dollarama, because I'm paying that bit more, they are quite a bit thicker wood. I can actually, you know, they're more sturdy. I can really, you know, I can use them a couple times. I've got one where I have Mod Podged over top of it probably 5 or 6 different layers. If it was the thinner one, I probably wouldn't be able to do that. So I do like the thick one. So this one's actually what I'm going to be working on today, is just Mod Podging these. I also found this cute little kitchen hanger. This was from Dollarama. It's $1.25, and it says, you know, I heart the kitchen. So I'm going to be doing this one soon. And there was another one that I had bought. Oh, yeah, it's sitting right in front of me. But no, there's another one I had bought that I 2 or 3 weeks ago that I can't find now. It's a little plaque. It's similar to this, but it says the Wi-Fi password is, and it's got the room for you to write down the Wi-Fi password. So I want to do something fancy with those. Then there's this other one. This is the one I really want to show. So $3.50. So, because I've just cleared out my laundry room as well. So I've got this one here, so it's shaped like an ironing board. And then I wanted to make some little doll clothes to kind of hang up along here. I thought it'd be really cute to decorate my laundry room. I'm going to knock this over. Just my refill for my fragrance oils. That would be bad to drop. Oh, this I got, it's like a liter. I get this from Dollar Tree. $1.25 for a full liter of this stuff, and it lasts like, see, I bought this probably like 4 years ago, and I've only used like that much in some of my fragrance oils refill things, because I hardly have them. You plug them in, I hardly use them. So every once in a while I just top them up. And I just leave them sitting out. I don't even plug them into the outlets, just having them just sit around the room. They make everything smell nice, but I have to move that because that would be so bad to spill. Okay, the other thing is these pencil crowns. I saw these for quite a while, but at $4 a pack. And I don't even know if this is all the colors. This is all the colors I saw the one night. So this first pack has numbers 001 to 018. So you get 18 in a pack. So this one goes up to 18. And this one is the colors 19 to 36. And this one is 37 to 54. And this one goes from 55 to 72. I brought these home and I showed my daughter, and she wants a set. And I said, well, it's be nice. I said, but it's Studio is the brand. And I say Studio and kind of some of those other brands are kind of iffy to know how well they're going to work. So this cost me, you know, $16 for these packs of pencil crowns. So, I mean, I paid $16 for 72 pencil crowns, which I never would spend that kind of money on pencil crowns, but just thought I'll try them. I'm 43. I've never had professional grade pencil crayons that come in cases like this. I buy mine from Walmart or the dollar store and just the generic brand. So I thought it'd be nice if these actually work good. And okay, and then of course Valentine's Day is coming up, so I got some of these little heart picks, $1.50 each. So I got 2 in pink and 1 in the red. I don't really like the red. I really like the shade of the pink. But I said the red will look nice when I put it with next to like the white and silver for my table that I want to do. And I know it's not quite Easter, but they just started bringing out the Easter picks and the Easter stuff. I'm not quite ready for Easter yet. I don't even know what I've got, but I've not seen these little tiny ones this size, and they were $1.25 each. I'm not quite sure how many little Easter eggs you get on them, but I thought I'm there, just a little over $1 each, you know, $1.50 each. I might as well grab a pack of each just now, because I don't know if they're gonna have them by the time Easter comes. It's so hard to know with stores like that when they bring the stuff in so early ahead of the time that by the time you get back to decorate for the season, the items could already be gone. And as for the other craft I'm doing today, because I said I'm going to be doing the Mod Podging the wooden signs today. The other thing is, because both these crafts are going to have stuff that has to wait and dry between stuff, so I thought if I do one, I can start the other one and go back and forth between the two. The other is these little magic gloves. They're the kid size ones. They're $1.50, and I like that they got the little sequins that glitter on here. I don't know, like a silver iridescent. They've got all the colors shining. So you get the pair, and they're both the gloves have the heart. Sometimes they don't, but I'm going to turn these into a cute little gnomes. So for this, I will be making my gnome shoes as well. And I think just to give them some height, I'm going to be using the wooden dowels. So just have to find all the supplies for this one. So just let me clear away all this extra stuff I've got on my work surface. And I'm going to start with these two wood plaques. I'm going to keep forgetting what they're called. And I've got my Mod Podge, so I've got the matte, and I have got my gloss. I don't have a lot of the gloss left. Now, I like to use my final layer as the gloss. I find it kind of, because it is shiny, I don't know if it really makes that much of a difference layering the stuff, but I do find that the gloss usually costs a little more than the matte. I don't know if it was just because I bought them once. One I bought from Walmart, one I bought from Michael's. I don't know if that's what caused the price difference, or if they actually do charge more for the gloss one. I bought the gloss one from Michael's because Walmart didn't have Mod Podge one time. And then I went back to Walmart and then they had just the matte. And I'll say I don't really notice much of the difference between the two. I mean, this one is a little more shiny at times depending on what you're going over top of. But I just said for the price difference, paying like, I don't know, it was a couple dollars more. Again, I don't know if that's because buying it from Michael's versus Walmart, or if they just charge more for the gloss versus the matte. I'd have to look at that. I also don't have a lot of the matte or the gloss left, so I actually just used the matte one as my first coat, and then as my base coat, and then to finish it off I'll put this on. So I kind of use the two together. And I'm just looking for my scrapbook paper, and this is the one page. I've got one page of this. I don't know where I got this from. There's nothing here. It's just a single piece. It was just in my box of scrapbook paper. I've never seen this pattern. It was just stuck in a big stack, and I was just looking through for paper one day, and I came across this one, so I immediately grabbed it. I'm saving that for Valentine's because I think it'll be really nice. So I just have to figure out which one I want to use, if I want to make it the heart one or if I want it to do the love one. Then I was actually looking, I might be able to get both of these out of the one piece of paper. So I had figured that out before. I was doing something a couple years ago for Christmas, and there was two signs, and I had figured out that when you lay them like this, they don't fit on the page. But if you trace out each little part, like if I were just to trace out this heart, and I'll start in the corner, I'll just go from the back, I might be able to see through the thing, but I'll just go this way. But see, if I just line this up from the here, you can see then I get the heart, and then I've got this big cutout part, and out of that cutout part, I think I probably have enough, because this heart might just be just enough from inside this heart. Because I had that at a Christmas one I made. I had two different plaques a couple years ago, and they were like a snowflake pattern, and one was a big snowflake that had a cutout, and then the smaller snowflake one I had, and it actually worked. I was able to get two pieces out of the same little piece of paper just because of the size difference of the two snowflakes. So I'm thinking the heart might be the same. I can't quite tell even when I line it like this. No, that it wouldn't work. I thought it would work, but no, it won't. Worth a try. Trying to save, you know, on scrapbook paper. It's really getting expensive in places. So I'm just gonna clear up my just gonna clear off my workspace, grab my other scrapbook paper, and I'll be back to do some Mod Podging. Okay, I went away and then I realized I was talking about these gloves, what I was gonna make, and I got distracted with just everyday stuff. I don't even think I even said what I was going to make out of these gloves. I was going to make a little Valentine Mr. and Mrs. Gnome out of them. So for that, so I said I was looking for my little dowel rod so I can make their legs a little longer. So I'm not sure if that's what, if I even said that. So I was just a little out of breath. I had to run upstairs and then downstairs. So first thing first, of course, is I'm going to be doing the Mod Podge first. So I'm just going to move my stuff over. I just had a paintbrush. I know I just had a paintbrush for the glue. And I think I just rolled it off on the table, so I will be right back. Okay, so doing the Mod Podge. So first thing I'll do is remove the stickers. And for this heart-shaped one, I actually want to do both sides and have it as like a hanging decor piece so you can see both sides. It'll take a few moments to get that off. I'm just going to set this aside for now. Just want to see if I can get this one off easier. Sometimes the labels just peel off, other times they don't. I do have a little squeaking. I guess I don't have my little scraper. Now that my craft room is really organized. It's easier to find things and get to things. But see, I've got my little scraping tool, and I can just get under there. I'm just gonna get under there and just peel the tag off so easily, although this wood is very fine, so if you go too hard you can cut the wood, which I just did. Just took a little chunk of the wood out. I don't think overall it's not going to be that noticeable. Just going to go back the other way just to kind of smooth out where I kind of got that little chunk gone. Just pull that off. So that one's ready. And then this one, just gonna grab this little tool. I bought this little tool from Dollar Tree, so $1.25. It's just a little blade, and I think you can replace the blade on here. It looks like you can. It's got a little screw and a little thing. Yeah, looks like you should be able to replace the blade too. So next time I'm at the Dollar Tree, I will try to see if they have any more of these and just grab them. They're just good to have, little scraping tools for various things. But look at that, it just comes off so much faster. I've seen some people take the labels off using a heat gun. I don't own a heat gun. I think my husband might have one. Then again, when he says he offers me things, and last thing I agreed to take from him that I needed that he didn't need was the wire cutters. Now I've got a pair of wire cutters that are about like a length, like a good arm length, and I really have to, like, you know, open and close to use them. So I'm not in a hurry to accept my husband's heat gun, although it might make some things handy. Right now I don't have any reason to use the heat gun. So I'm gonna put that away. So then I've got my scrapbook paper here. So I had a couple different patterns that I could use. Throw this out my garbage before I get them stuck to other stuff. As I said, I've got this nice rose one, which for sure I think I'm going to do the love in this floral. So it's just this heart. So I can do something very, very simple and kind of really traditional colors for Valentine's. I've got a nice pink one, and I've got a nice red one. Now this red one's not straight red. It's got some little black and gray through it, so I don't know if you can tell, but it kind of looks like a plywood, like a wood, kind of a grainy texture too. Then I found these ones that kind of go like a wicker or burlap. So I got a lighter wood, and I have the darker one. Oops, got more pieces than I thought I did. I've never seen these ones either. I'm just going through some old paper that I've had for a very long time. So you kind of forget what you have for scrapbook paper when you haven't used it for a long time. And then of course I've got this nice, the buffalo check kind of. It's got some like little stripes through it. So it's the black, white, and gray. And then of course I have my other big packs of scrapbook paper. And I've got this one. It's got the hearts. I thought that would be nice. So I think I'm going to use the shiny hearts. Just wondering if there's any other one that would look good. This is just a small piece. I've got a whole bunch of other scrapbook paper. I've got a stack of them. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the hearts and the roses. I'm just going to set all these aside. I'm going to show you one other thing, if I can get to it. It's one of these pads of paper. I'm just going to grab this stack of paper here, which I've shown these at Christmas when I was trying to find my designs I was going to use. So it's this one here. So on the front cover of these packs, they give you a sample of the pictures that you get in the pack. So this pack that's all fallen apart, this is the rest of it. And part of the reason why it's fallen apart is I actually took the the front cover off, and I actually used 4 of the things here for gift tags. So I do have the other pack, so it matches. Where is it? So it's right here. So you can see, so the 4 I used was the hearts and this one. So these 4 here, I actually used last Valentine's or last anniversary for me and my husband. I actually used these as the gift tag for the gifts. I didn't have gift tags as I was reusing the gift bags. Just something else I like to do. I like to reuse the gift bags. I'll even like update the gift bags. Like I'll add some other embellishments to them or just recover the gift bags if it's the wrong season. Okay. So I've got 2 pieces of scrapbook paper here. And I got my pencil. One of these pencils. Got pencils behind me. I had a pencil in front of me. I think I dropped it when I dropped to get a paintbrush. So I've got to find the flowers because I want to start with the love one because it's got the most detail. It'll be the hardest one to cut out. So I just want to find where I think the flowers look the nicest. I just want to make sure that I've got where I've got the flowers stem down and not the stem up. Although it looks fine both ways, but there's just a way that the eye catches the light. So I just want to make sure I get the flowers going in the right pattern. Because it's these little flowers, there's tiny little ones, and I just want the points of them facing up. So I'll go like this. Oops, just move the camera down just a little more. So I've got this. I'm just going to double check that I've got it the right way. I do. And I'm just going to start down here in this corner. Because it always bothers me when people take this big piece of paper or a big piece of anything and they start right in the center. I'm like, you lose so much paper that way. Like, I like to give myself like where the one side feels a little bit further because of the way that these letters are shaped, or the heart. The heart, I think, comes out just a little bit further than the E. It does. It's probably hard to see, but the heart is, do this. So where I've got the edge of my pencil on the heart comes out further than the E. So I just want to give myself a good line. So when I trace, I gotta move my camera again. So when I'm tracing around the heart, because it's the one that jets out the most, that if I had lined up with the E, then the heart is going to get cut off. So I always find where on the board or whatever you're tracing or cutting out, where is it the widest? You always want to start at that spot to like everything lined up. Like I do like having like about a pencil width from the edge of the paper, just so I get like a nice, you know, just a nicer finish to things. If I put it straight up against the edge of the paper, I might trim off too much and then I'll lose a little bit. So I like to, that's why I kind of like to use my pencil as a guideline. So I want a good pencil width at the bottom, and I want the pencil width using up where the heart is. So when I put this over by the E, it's like almost 2 pencil widths in spots. But that's okay because I'm using the guideline as the heart for wherever the widest or longest would be. So now I'm just going to quickly trace this out. And of course, when you trace this out, I also don't try to trace so close to it. I like to just let the pencil kind of just have a, the pencil kind of just doesn't touch the wood part itself. It's kind of got a space, which actually gives a really nice, makes it also easier to like cut it out. So you've kind of got like a little bit of a safety barrier kind of thing, whatever you want to call it, so you're not cutting and you're not going to lose. Because on a craft like this, I usually just go at the end when everything is dry, and I just go around with the sanding block to get all the extra stuff off, so I don't worry about cutting too close or too far. But I know I've seen some people and they go so close, they trace so close, and they don't give themselves any of that extra room that if they cut wrong, then they've kind of messed up, or they could potentially mess up. So I'm just going to trace this out, And I'm going to trace the heart one out, and I'm going to use the heart one I was going to trace on this one, so the same thing. So I'm going to get both these traced out and cut out, and then I will be right back. So I've got this one. I did the same way. I figured out which way the hearts are going for the heart shape. And I kind of put the arrow down in the bottom corner of the paper. I got the heart lined up with all the other hearts. I've traced it out. I've got the other one traced out, so I'm just going to cut these out quickly. And I like to cut from the back of the paper. And I like to cut just a little bit bigger than my lines too. Gonna cut these out. This is where it kind of gets a little tricky though. This one's not as bad. It's the other one, like, because this one I can just use these scissors until I do the inside heart. Then I have to get the this is the wrong one. This is the rotary cutter. My other right here. Yeah, this exact one. I got it in front of me, but I grabbed the wrong one. So this one I'll use when I do the other one and the inside of this one. So I'm just going to finish cutting these out. And I said for this one here, I did want to make it a double-sided sign because it is the heart. I want to make it kind of like a centerpiece on my kitchen table or my dining room table. So I want to have, you can see stuff on both sides. So I'm going to use this one on the one side, and I haven't decided which pattern or which paper I'm using on the other side. So I want something that will kind of like match it. So I think I might find a green. This one's got the shiny. I don't know. I have to figure that one out. But this is all I'm going to do for now. I'm just going to keep cutting these two pages out and get ready to Mod Podge them. So I'll be back when I'm ready to Mod Podge. I think maybe by that time I'll probably also already have my other paper for this back one kind of planned out as well. So I will be back in just a few moments. Okay, I've got my 3 pieces cut out because this was the one heart, and I said I really like to make it a double-sided. So I found this was in the same pack, just the little green, a muted greenish gray, and it's got a little bit of red. So it's like little, I don't know, looks like knitting stitches, like from a sweater. So I'm just gonna start with this one first. If I can get this out of my way. I'm just gonna start with going this one down first. I'm just gonna grab my Mod Podge. This lid is all just separated on me. So it's this little cardboard thing. It's now like 3 pieces. I'm just gonna put my lid back on that first. I have the paintbrush right here. So I'm just gonna thread stuck to my paintbrush. That's not good. Don't want to be Mod Podging thread on here. I'm just going to start over here at the one corner. I'm just going to put a generous amount of Mod Podge, paying really particular close attention that you're getting the corners good and covered. Just want a good amount of Mod Podge over here. I don't mind if the Mod Podge drips down the side, because final step will be sanding this all off anyways, but I just want to get a good coating of the Mod Podge right up at the edges. And when I'm doing this base coat, I don't care about which way my brush strokes go, but when I'm doing the final step, I really want all my brush strokes to go the same direction. So I'm just going to do this. It's just half the heart. I just want to make sure that I get half of this on here, because sometimes I find when I'm making bigger plaques like this, if I put too much glue down on the whole thing and then I go back, the first half of it has already kind of dried before I can get to the back to it. So if I put all the glue down and then I come to start sticking it, this stuff is already up here, is already dried. And And you'll end up using a little more glue sometimes, so I kind of like to work in little sections. Just spilling Mod Podge all over my table here. It doesn't take long to do this. I've done Mod Podge with napkins, and I will say I'm not very good with the napkins. Mine will crack. They don't stick as good. I get bubbles and ripples in them. Sometimes I like that effect. So I've had one where I made and then I went over with some type of, I took some watered down paint and went over it, and it kind of filled in the cracks. It was kind of an interesting little thing. It was just one day I was bored. My project didn't work good, so I was just playing around with it. I haven't done that for a while, so try that another time. Next time I'm doing napkins, I'll purposely have it crinkle, and I'll retry that and see if it was just a one-time fluke that I was able to do that, or if it really works that way. I'm just gonna press this down, especially right where the edges are, because that's right where you really need it to stick down, is right at the edges, and smooth it out. Seems like it's good. I'm just going to flip it around and just press this down good. And I'm just going to set this one aside before I do the other side, because when I don't want to, I just want that glue some time to set up before I flip it over and start gluing the other side. So now I'm just going to glue the love one. Same thing. I'm going to start up here at the L, and I'm just going to make sure it's really coated well at the edges. And I'm going down to the V, so I'm just going to do the L and the V first. Just want a good amount of Mod Podge. Anywhere, I'm going to do right here, because this is going to be a tricky spot too. This little spot, there's a little triangle here where all the letters kind of join up. Just want to get a good amount right around there. I'll just start doing the E next. I've got so much Mod Podge on here. It's not, I'm not at risk for having this dry. This one's just it's a smaller plaque, or in some ways. It's not like the other one was quite long. So I find certain plaques I can do the whole thing at once. Sometimes I'd work in little sections. But again, just gotta get a lot of this glue right on the edges. If you see any too much dripping, or you just see like it's just kind of too much at the edges, you can kind of just wipe that off. I have a spot here where I don't know if I missed it or it's already just too thin and already dry, so I'm just going to go over the section there. Sometimes it's hard to tell where you've already gone over, so it doesn't hurt to go over a second time. I'm just going to lightly lay this down, just trying to start to line it up. When it's a bigger piece like this, it's just line it up until you know that it's covering, all the letters are covering where they're supposed to be, and then just start doing each letter slowly, just pressing down and going across all the letters. I'm just going to keep doing this for a few more minutes, just trying to get all this stuck down so I know that the letter is all done. So I'm just going to go back and do the back side of the other heart, and then I will be back, and when I come back I'm actually going to let these dry for a little bit before I do a second coat, or the top coat. So when I come back I'm actually going to start making my gnomes. Alright, so now I'm going to get to making the little gnomes. So I'm just using these little mini gloves, so they're very easy, very small little gnomes. I'm going to cut the tags off. And then for the polyfill, I've got this. This is left over from the little store-bought teddy bear craft I had made a couple days ago. First thing I have to do is I have to turn these gloves inside out, which is harder than you think. Or maybe it's not, it's just when gloves get all turned inside out and you're trying to get all the fingers going the right way. Actually, I've got these chopsticks here, so I might as well use them. It might make it go faster. I couldn't find my wooden dowels, but I found some chopsticks, so I think I'm going to use the chopsticks tonight. Now, because we want to make this the gnome body, we don't need the 5-finger holes, so we just have to cut one off, and then I'm going to shorten 2 of them. So I'm just going to turn these both inside out just so I can get them all the same, you know, this more closer to the same size. I mean, it's okay if he's a little bit bigger, but I kind of want them kind of more even. Of course, the first thing will be, of course, is cutting off the middle finger. Would be stitching, but I'm not going to be stitching today. I'm just going to use the hot glue tonight, just to make this craft go so much faster. You can always, you know, hot glue today and then go over another day with a couple little stitches. But because I'm working on a couple projects tonight, just because I want to get a few Valentine's crafts made, I'm just trying to find which side of the glove has the hearts. So I'm going to put it the heart side down, just so I know that the side that's down is going to be the front. So first thing is just take where the middle finger is, and I'm just going to cut that right off. And then the other thing is the length of the thumb. I guess you can kind of see, like when you cut that off, like you got this thumb is like starts way up here. So I'm going to snip up the pinky just up to where the thumb would be, like where the starting would be. So you get like, instead of being like that, now you've got like the hand is a little bit loose. And then you can see where the thumb would be kind of level with where I cut the finger off the middle finger. So I'm just going to cut straight across. Just a little bit longer, but just kind of get that guideline like that. So I ended up with this. So now, just to make the thumb look more like this one, this hand, I'm going to snip the tip off of the thumb just so I can even out the hands, just to make them the same size. Just trim just a little more off of this. So you kind of get something that looks kind of like this. I mean, it looks a little funny, but once I get it all right side out, it should look a lot better. So I think I'm going to have to snip this up just a little further, just to make so you can see, yeah, there, that looks a lot better. You can actually give a definition. Now it kind of looks like little hands and the feet. Do the same to this one. Just going to take where the pinky is and just snip that up, and I'm just gonna trim this chunk of the finger off so it lines up with the thumb, and I'm just gonna trim just a little bit of the thumb off, just so when I get, so I can kind of make it look a little bit more like a hand. I still think this is still just a little too long. I'm just gonna snip just a little bit off. I don't want to make it too short, but I do want to have a good, you know, I do want to have them close to the same size now. So now if you were stitching, this would be the time that you would stitch, but I'm just going to hot glue. So a little bit of glue just dripping off my gun here. So I'm just going to glue there, a little bit here. And just glue, cut the middle finger off, and just glue the tip of the thumb, just so it gets just so it's a same shape. Trim a little bit more of this off. I just want some of the extra curvy part of the thumb off, just so it would be more straight like the other hand will be. Do the same to this one. Just glue, just close this arm here where we had cut without burning your fingers. A little more glue in there because I burnt my finger and I pulled it and I think I didn't seal it. A little bit of glue in there, a little bit of glue in here, and a little bit of glue in the thumb. Just going to give that just a couple minutes to cool down. Don't glue it to the table. Got these extra little pieces of thread I'm just going to snip off just because don't need to because it's the inside, but I know as I go to put this back, oops, I missed this arm here. How did I do that? This side. I missed pulling a whole side of, okay. I did the same thing on this one. I was so very busy doing the one spot, I forgot to glue up the other side. Just gonna give that a few minutes. Like I said, these stitches or these extra loose threads, I don't have to worry about, but I'm just gonna snip them just so they're not in my way when I go to flip the. So I've got little people that kind of look like this. And then I said I do want to make them so they can stand. So now is the time. I am going to just snip a little bit off each of where the feet would be. So not a lot, just enough that I can fit the little dowel rods, or tonight I'm actually using chopsticks, just so I can get those through. Now very carefully rotate this back the right way so we don't. Get this back right side. What did I do? I'm pulling the wrong finger through the, kind of like I doubled the fingers kind of. Okay, looks like that. I cut funny, but I've cut this one funny too. I said I've not done this. Like I've done this type of craft, but I've never done one where it has like a picture on. Something like a picture or something actually already on the glove. So I wonder if I've done it to both or just that one. That's okay. I think once I get it, once I get these stuffed and everything, I think you won't notice that. Or I can always just fix that one. I can always just undo the glue. I think I just have it glued wrong. Let's get that one pulled out. And I've just got one more to get pulled out. This one did it too. That's okay. I think as I get it stuffed, I think, it just looks a little funny, but I think as I get the stuffing in there and I can fix that. And I said once they've got, their stuff on, and they've got, their hats on, and they've got their shoes, I don't think you're going to notice that as much. I got this chunk of this polyfill. Just going to grab a big chunk of it and start stuffing it in here. Start to fill out the legs here, and the body, and then the arms. There, see, as it starts to fill out, it's starting to look a lot better. I think I should have clipped it from the outside, not from the inside. That way I could have lined that up a little bit better, but that's okay. And I've got these two different styles of chopsticks. So one's a little, can't even see. So one's a little shorter, but it's fatter. So I'm going to use the little bit shorter, fatter one. Like that, because I really want these guys to stand up. Now, as of right now, I'm not quite sure how tall I'm going to make their feet. I'm just going to give them some extra long legs at the moment. Just going to keep stuffing. And this polyfill will kind of hold the polyfill is going to hold the chopsticks in place. Just going to add some more stuffing. Kind of looks like a funny little chicken right now. That one's done. Set that aside. I'm going to do the same to the other one. Just going to add some polyfill down to this leg, some polyfill down into the other leg, and add in the chopsticks, and start adding more polyfill. That's all I'm going to do right now. I'm just going to, just kind of push too hard for the hot glue and kind of just split that seam open. That's okay. I'll just fix that in a second. Got too many chopsticks here because I didn't know which chopsticks I was going to be using. So it's these fatter ones. And I want the fattest, thickest point down where their feet are, and the skinnier pointed part up here. And just pull those through. Get rid of all these other little cut pieces. And just some more polyfill into this one. Kind of stuff the arms. So they look like they're wearing nice little Valentine sweaters. Use a little bit more polyfill down here. The polyfill, I also find if you just kind of like rub with your fingers or roll it, it kind of spreads it out. I'm sorry, just the sound of the chopsticks hitting my glass cutting board. It's just, I know, very loud at times. Just get a little more down in this arm. The arms look more the same size. Just a little bit more polyfill on this one and a little more on this one, and I've used up all that polyfill. So I'm just going to check and see that it all looks right. So now I'm just going to take this, as I do want to kind of look like it has a turtleneck, so I'm going to use this kind of as my guideline. So I'm just going to put a big blob of glue right down here. I'm just going to seal it up just straight across, right like that. And that one is sealed. And I'm going to do the same to this one. Just lots of hot glue just right on the one side of the glove, and just kind of squeeze it and hold it together just so you get like this. And just to close it, just get some of this extra glue off that's kind of dripping up the top. So now we've got the start of our gnomes. They kind of look like that. I know the legs aren't quite right. I know their legs are going to be too long, but just wasn't sure how long I need the chopstick, so I will be cutting off the chopstick when I figure out how long I want them. So now I'm going to go to set these aside. Well, before I do that, I'm just going to fix where I kind of got the seam here. I'm just going glue that back into place there. And this one too, because I just kind of, when I flip this one right side, I kind of just pulled out. I pulled it just a little too hard and I kind of just opened up that seam. So I'm just going to put a little dab of glue there and a little dab of glue there and just get that seam closed back up. So now I'm going to set these aside and I'm going to work on their shoes. So for the shoes, I have these little baby shower favor shoes from Dollar Tree. And oops, I have this little bit of this sand, like the decorative candle sand. This I got from Dollarama for $1.50. I know Dollar Tree sells it too, but this is where I got mine from. Open these up. And I'm going to make them with black feet. Again, my sheets of felt are all from the Dollar Tree. So I got them at, like, I think they're 2 for $1.25. I believe that's what the pricing was. Take this price tag off. I'm just going to give an approximate size that I need. I need 4 of these, so I'm just going to kind of loosely trace this out. Can't really see that one side, so I'm just going to try that again. I'm just going to line up my 4 pieces of felt here. They're roughly the same size. Just going to make sure that I've got them all kind of lined up in the right corners here. I'm just going to cut the 4 pieces out at the same time. If I can. I'm not too worried about the sizing of the felt because when I get to the next step, I will be trimming them down to fit a bit better. An approximate size. I just grab the top one and put this on. I should cover the whole boot completely. It does. So now all I do is this boot has this little part at the front here. I'm just gonna get some of the sand and fill it in. This is just to help weigh it down. I'm just going to put glue around the whole foot of the shoe. And then the piece of felt right over top. I'm just going to press it down on the table here. So one is done. I'm just going to do the same to the next 3. Got to get a little more glue stick here. It doesn't take long to make these, so I've decided that for the boy gnome, I'm going to make his shoes and his hat white or red, and for the girl gnome, I'm going to make her shoes and hat white. I'm not too worried about, all this extra glue because it will be disappearing in a few moments when I get to the next step. It doesn't take long to make these. I haven't made these for a while. It's been a while since I've made gnomes or gnome shoes. Because it's a lot of little, making these gnomes, it's a lot of it just waiting for the glue to dry, and same with the little wooden plaques, and a lot of that is just waiting for the glue to dry, so I figured why not do both at the same time. They're both 2 big projects, but they both don't really take that amount of time. Most of the time it's just waiting for the glue to dry. that one, and the last one. I've made other ones where I've used I couldn't find this more fine-grained sand. I've used the chunkier pebbles too, the crushed rocks or whatever, crushed pellets, crushed sand, whatever it's called. But again, it's just right in the candle section, wherever they sell the candles, that's where you find this decorative sand. I do prefer the thinner sand, but I do find if I was making the heavier gnomes, like the heavier you want to make your gnomes, the bigger the gravel will probably be to help weigh it down. Mine are just little baby gnomes. So I find this works just as good for me. So now I'm just going to take the scissors. I'm just going to kind of trim up some of this extra bit of hangover, some of the glue, and just the black felt for the bottom of the boots. I'm not too worried about the way it looks, because once I put the next step on, which is with the felt, the strip of felt across, you're not really going to notice if they're not cut perfectly. But if I just get some of this extra bit of felt out of the way now, it just makes it so much easier than trying to do this part all at the next step. Just trying to trim up this extra bit of felt after you've already put the other felt around. You can do it, because I have done it that way a couple times, but I just find this way is just so much easier to do it now. There, got the boots the bottom of the boots are done. Put the lid on there. Goes in the garbage. So now I want to make her boots and his boots. So now just gotta grab. Okay, I was gonna say I gotta grab my ruler. No, my ruler's on here. I just have to rotate this down so I can see. So this one's got the glitter in it. Is this the? Oops, I've got to turn it this way. I need it in inches, so I need it 3 inches, which is here. I just want to do 2 inches. Let me just figure this out. I just want to see. Just trying to decide how big I want to make the boots tonight. How tall? I think I'm just going to do 2 inches. So that means I just need it to be 4 inches. That's okay. I can. So I'm going to make 2 strips. So I need the 4 inches, and then I need it the width. I think it's 6 inches is what I need for a width. Not 2 by 6, that's what it is. Like I said, I do know it. It's just been a while since I've made these, so just trying to remember my measurements. I'm cutting out a 4 by 6 square of the red, and then I'm going to cut out a 4 by 6 square of the white. And all my ones I have that I'm working with tonight all have the bit of glitter in them, so it's going to just give it a nice little look. Yeah, just cut up these squares. I'm just going to cut these in half so I can make both the shoes. I said once I start doing this, it goes really fast. find which side is the more glittery side of the two sides here. Okay, so I got the most glittery side facing up. Well, this doesn't look very glittery. I guess it's more glittery on that side. Okay, so I'm going to start at the back seam. Now this is kind of where you decide which foot is your right foot and which foot is your left foot of your shoes. So I'm going to start here. The strip of glue going up. I'm just going to put it right up on that strip of glue. Now this shoe I am going to rotate towards my right. That means the other shoe I'm going to put, and I'm going to go towards the left. I'm just going to put a bead of glue right along the bottom of the shoe, and you just go right around the edge. That's all there is to it. It's really simple. There's not a lot of stuff involved. It's just one straight bead of glue all the way around the shoe. And when you get up here to the back, now I'm going to just put a little bit of glue on this part of the felt right here, and I'm going to fold this over in half on itself, and then when I glue up, I get this really nice seam. So you kind of get like this little tube looking thing here, and you get a nice seam up the back. So I'm going to do the exact same thing to the other one, but this time I'm going to go the other direction so you can tell like which one's going to be your left foot and which one's going to be your right foot. I've seen some people not really care which way they do it. And then I was making a bunch of shoes one day, and I'm like, oh, but I want the seam, because everybody has, like, you know, the backs of your shoes all have this seam. And I'm like, well, how can I make sure that I get that seam on all the pairs of shoes that I make? So that's when I discovered this little trick. Just gonna glue all the way around the edge here. I'll show a little close-up in a second. These little shoes, they actually have, I'll get one that doesn't have glue all over, right around the bottom of the shoe, it actually has a little groove, kind of like where the sole would be. So I'm just putting the bead of glue just right on there. I don't know if you can see. There is, like, there's the edge of the shoe, and then there's like where the sole would come up, like the rubber part of the runners or the shoes. So I'm just putting the bead of glue right along that little line. Same with this one. So now I've got it all glued around. So I've got this little flap here. I'm just going to put, oops, glue gun got stuck. I'm going to put a little bit of glue just right here, just so I can fold it in on itself. So I kind of get this little, and I'm going to put a little bit of glue up here at the top. I didn't do it on that one, which is why I was having trouble getting it to stay straight at the top. But a little bit of glue at the top, so now I've got it kind of folded over. And then I put a bead of glue just straight up on the material. And then when I fold the two pieces together, or when I fold the one onto the other, I get a nice little seam going up the back of the boot. So you can see, because I wrapped one way and one the other way, I get the two different seams. Now to finish this boot, there's a couple different things you can do. One is you can push all this in to get the runners, which I actually have all the different ones I've made over here. Okay, these are two different ones. One has the, you can tell, like the lace and the ribbons are all different. But when you take it and you tuck it in, so if you leave it, if you tuck it in, you get the runner look. And if you leave it tall, you'll get it'll look like more like a boot. So I've got a whole bunch of these that I made that I haven't made any gnomes to go with them yet. I'm just going to set those back over there. So all you do is right down in here, like you've got the booty, so you got like where like the shoelace part would be. I'm just going to pour glue right down on the top part of that. So just right down inside and up a little bit. And then you just push your finger like that, and it's going to want to fold in, and then I just grab it from up here and I just kind of pull it, and I get this boot looking thing. I'm just going to put a little bead of glue at the very top, and just while I hold this with my finger down here, I'm just going to pinch up here, and I'm pinching and I'm pulling it tight at the top, and I'm pushing it tight at the bottom, and then I will get that so then it looks like a boot. And at this point you can tell there is a few spots where the felt will be just a little bit higher on the one side, so I just trim that extra little piece off. It doesn't seem to matter how I make the boots, I seem to always have a little piece of it that's just a little higher than the other, like not very much higher, but I think it's just because I cut kind of jagged when I was cutting. It's also going around, you know, a circular, so you kind of get that. So this one's the same thing. I'm just going to pour some glue down to the toe and just a little bit up at the top. Push this down, my thumb, or not my thumb, push this down with my finger and just pinch this top part up here. And I'm just going to put a little dab of glue up here and then do it again. Just pinch that and hold it there for a few seconds, and then just to see where any extra bit, just trim it off. It's usually not a lot that you have to trim off. I mean, I've had one day where I really messed up and I just had just a lot that I had to trim off, but usually I don't. So there is the first pair of boots so far. Of course, the next step will of course be all the embellishment parts. So now I'm just going to do the same to this white one. Let's put a bead of glue down. Now this white one is a lot stiffer. So now this white one, because this is stiffer, I'm not going to do the same kind of an edge. Like I'm not going to flip over. I won't be able to, because this I could fold in half and flip over and it look good. But this white is just too stiff, so I'm going to do a little bit different. So again, I'm still just going to make my little strip or little bead of glue and just go right around the shoe. And this time when I get right around to here, because of how thick this is, there's no way that I'm going to be able to fold that in half. So instead, I'm just going to take it, I'm just going to cut straight down. And I'm going to put the bead of glue, and I'm just going to glue the two pieces together. If I can. I think I didn't give myself enough material to overlap. Let's try that again. Just a little more glue. There. So I still get the seam, but because it's a thicker material, sometimes you can't do that. The same thing, just going to put some glue down where the toe is, push it down. And again, it's a little bit thicker, so it's going to be a little harder to do, but it's not that much harder to do. Just a little bit bead. I might need a little bit more glue on this one just because the foam or the felt is thicker. I mean, this felt is about as thick as a piece of foam. So there's, oops. It just needs a little longer to be held. This would be a good time if I had my little clips. I'm not sure where they are at the moment. So I'm right in the middle of organizing my house, so I've been moving everything around. keep holding this for a little bit longer. So I'm just going to do the other one. And I will be back when I get this to be held in place and I get the other one done. So I will be right back and I'll show you the next step. Alright, so now the next step to making these look like shoes is, of course, the little bit of ribbon I put around the bottom of the shoes. So I'm going to do these two ribbons. These are the Valentine ones. This one's got the hearts and it says Happy Valentine's Day. And this one says I love you this much. So I'm going to use this red Happy Valentine's Day on the white. I'm just going to figure out lining this up. So I want it to, so you can see it says Valentine's Day right here at the front. So that's where I'm going to start. I'm going to get this down just a little further. I just want the word Valentine's to be right at the front. I'm just going to figure out the back. Okay, so it's going to go right to there. I'm just going to trim. Oops. There, so that's going to go that way, and then this is going to come this way. Okay, so I'm just going to, so I want the Valentine's to be right here at the front. So I'm just going to glue that part down first. Because I'm having trouble holding this all together and trying to line this up. So I've got more ribbon than I need, but I just wanted to get that word at the front. Just going to cut off the word Valentine's from this side here. I'm just going to put the hot glue over here, like that, and the glue on this side. Across here, and I'm going to finish this up at the back the same way I did the other ones with the, I want like where the seam to be. So I'm just going to trim this off just a little bit. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue here so I can fold it in half like I had done with the other one, and then oops, just bring it right up and around top of itself. If I can get this to, glue is very hot. Let's put some glue, put a little more glue there, and just rotate it around and line it up so I get a nice little seam at the back with the ribbon. Trying to line it up with this seam, which I didn't because I pulled the ribbon the wrong way. I kind of cut it wrong. So I got the back seam is here, the ribbon seam is over here. But I just really wanted the word Valentine's to be at the front. So I'm going to do the same one, the same way to this one. I'm just going to grab this ribbon. I'm just going to put the ribbon there. And I just want the word Valentine's to be right in the front. And then just bring this around to the back. Right to there. I'm going to trim this off right there. I think that's what I did last time, is I didn't give myself enough stuff at the back for it to overlap. And then this one will come, trim off about to there. Glue up where the seam is. This one was a lot better. So I took my time actually lining it up, so it lined up a lot better. this time. But it's just at the back, so it's not a big deal if it's just a little bit off at the back. But from the front, the word Valentine is right at the front. And then same with these red ones. I'm going to use this white ribbon, and I really want it to, for the word love to be right at the front. So sometimes when you want your ribbon to start on a specific word, it is a little trickier to line up. Just getting all these little pieces of other things stuck to my hand. And so I want it to say, I love you right here at the front. And I'm gluing with ribbon, and I'm getting my ribbon and my glue gun cord tangled around each other too, so that's not very good. See, as you make these, it gets easier and easier to do and line up. See, this one I had no trouble lining up. Like you said, it's the first one that you make that you usually mess up on, but after that, you know, it just gets easier. So, and there's that one. This one says, I love you this much. Okay, the next one. Need another glue stick here. And I'm doing the side that's going to be underneath first, so that way I get the right words kind of lined up. Well, not words, I guess this one has got the words, so I'm just trying to get the, this one I'm trying to get the words lined up so you can see the whole sentence. Also, if I kind of cut some of the ribbon off some of the full words, then I can kind of use the ribbon for another craft. I'm trying not to waste supplies. So I now got those done. I'm not sure what other embellishments I'm going to add, but I'm going to leave those right now. I've got to let all this stuff dry. So now while the shoes are drying, I'm actually going to go back to the other project, which was the Mod Podge. I'm going to bring my other board over because this one had the glue on it. Just going to get this one out of the way. So now here's the heart one. I do have it double-sided. And the other love. So now I'm just going to grab my Mod Podge. Now this time I am going to be using the gloss. And I'm just going to be putting, if I can open the gloss. No, I can't seem to open it tonight. That's okay. I guess I'll be using just the matte, because that one is already opened. I can get to it. So I'm just going to be, excuse me, just a big generous amount. Now, like I said, this one here, when I'm putting it on the coat, I work it all in the same direction. So I want to go, I usually go from the left to the right. And I'll kind of just do whatever you feel more comfortable doing. But I like to just go in short, not necessarily like short choppy, but just shorter strokes, but trying to get all the glue to go in the one direction. So having all your strokes in one direction, it just makes it look so much more like, I guess, better, high-end quality. Like you took the time to make sure that you went, all the glue strokes are all going the same way, because it's so easy to just put it down the glue and just go whatever direction. But when you're doing around the corners, you really have to pay particular right here at the corners, because right at the edge, because that is right where when we get to the sanding block, it will all be sanding that off, and you want it to be nice there, nice coating there, so it's just so much easier to get off. So that's all I'm going to be doing, is I'm just going to be putting Mod Podge on both of these signs. So I'm just doing this top of this one. So this is a double-sided sign, so I'm just doing this one. Then I will put on the other sign, and then wait for all this to dry, and then flip over and do the other side. So I will be back, because I don't think you need to watch me put Mod Podge on all this. Doesn't take long to do, because I've almost got this one done. It's quite an easy craft. It's just, you know, you can use scrapbook paper, just construction paper, computer paper, print out pictures, napkins, anything. Just needs some type of paper, some type of a wood frame or wood surface that you want to Mod Podge, and the Mod Podge. So it's a very easy, simple craft that anybody can do. Now if I do have to go the other way, because I just saw a little air bubble there, so I just still same thing. I take my strokes are all going one way, so if I want to go backwards, I just make sure that my stroke is still going. At the end, it's all going to be still going the same direction. And then sometimes I will just go and take the brush lightly and just go right across the whole thing. Like even if it's just the gaps like this, then you just get more of those lines straight. Like that. And then more lines are just all straight. All your strokes are all going the same directions. You don't want to start going one way and then up and down and sideways, and I just really like just the way that I like to do it. I'm just going to set that up there. Now I'm just going to do the love one, and I'm just going to let this done, and I will be back when I've got both these pieces done and I am ready to use the sanding block. Okay, I'm back. I've got the love one all totally I went around with the sandpaper. Can't even say what I just did. But yeah, I've gone all the way around with the sandpaper all around the whole border. As you can see, it's a little bit rough at the back just because the sandpaper kind of got some of the back. So I'll just sand some of that, the rougher spots along the back off. So I got that one done. And this was the one I did the both sides. So this side looks like this side looks like this. So I have done this side for the most part. I didn't do the inside yet, but I've done the outside on this side. So this is the side I'm working on. So all you do is just take your sanding block, I'm just going to hold it, and you just go from the top down. And as you do that, it's supposed to just be able to bend the paper, and it should just come right off the edge. The glue is hard enough, it's supposed to. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's a little harder. And I said that sometimes you get the urge to pull this paper. I say don't, because when you pull it, you can actually pull the paper off the front, like I did. Let's see, right here. It's hard to tell, but I pulled a big chunk of this paper off right here. So all I did was just extra sanded that down. And then when I'm going to go over with another coat of Mod Podge, it should not be as noticeable. So you have to resist the urge to pull the loose paper. But you're just working in slow steps. You can use any type of sanding block. I've got this one. Oops. This one here, it's a very well used sanding block. Same thing, you just work your way around. That one's just too used. I've got this other sanding block. You can see just different types of sanding blocks. They'll just all work the same. This one's got different grits on all four edges. As much as I like these fat ones, I just find that it's just Sometimes it's just too, I mean, it's good for larger ones where it's got large. But I find this it's just easier to use like the smallest side and just work your way around. And just go slow, and it should just, you know, start to peel off. And as you go like that, it's just going to start to peel off. And I said, don't pull it because you don't want to wreck it. But just keep going around until it's all off all the way around. So I'm just going to continue doing that on this one. And then I'm going to now go and finish the gnomes. I'm just going to set this aside, and I'm just going to go get the gnomes and bring them back and work on that. And so I'll be right back. So this is what my gnomes look like. Now, just for the height of their shoes, for this one, I actually cut about 1 inch of the chopstick off. So I'm going to do the same to this one. I'm going to cut. And then I was looking and said, I kind of like it where he's going to be now taller, so maybe I'm not going to cut the chopstick off. It's just that when I go to do the shoes, then I'm just going to hot glue the shoe around the top of the foot, and it'll just kind of stand up. I'm just going to shut the door just a second. Oh, sorry, my kids are just in the kitchen just down the hallway, so I just didn't want any of their noise to come in here where it's just harder to hear me. So this will be the girl gnome. So I'm going to give her the red shoes. So I said I did cut her down about 1 inch. So I'm going to keep her like that. I'm not going to cut him down. I was going to, and then I saw the height difference. It's not that big of a height difference, so I like that. So I'm just trying to get some of the stuffing to come down the leg. So the leg, this leg here just doesn't have any stuffing. Some more of this polyfill here, so I'm just gonna stick it up back of this leg here, just because the leg just needs to be a little bit fuller. That looks a lot better now. It's a little more full. I'm just going to put a little more of polyfill. Also, this polyfill stuff will actually help hold the chopsticks in place too. I'm just going to stuff it in around the chopsticks there. Now she's going to probably look a lot better. There, her legs are full out. Before they were just so skinny. So now to help hold this in, I couldn't find my, so I usually when I'm making these, just hold the legs in place, I use floral foam, but all I have is just this piece of the styrofoam. So I'm just going to grab a piece of the styrofoam, just going to glue it down inside the shoe. Just so they have the thing for their foot to stand in. Just makes it a lot easier. A little chunk of foam, just something to press the styrofoam, or something to press the chopstick or the skewer into. Just makes it a lot easier. I find then I don't have to quite use so much hot glue to hold the leg in place. Just need hot glue down there to hold the foam in place. Okay, now I have to decide which one was the right foot and the left foot, but I guess it doesn't matter on this one. Actually, yes, it does, because I got the back seam, so I'm just lining up the seams like you would for runners. Okay. I'm just going to put some glue down in here and some glue down in here. Just push the chopstick skewer down into the glue and into the shoe, and same with this one. I can just get that skewer to go down just a little bit more there, and now it's just a matter of just wiggling it around so they're standing straight. I'm just going to turn it towards me just so I can make sure I've got her standing straight. And I know this little chunk here on her leg kind of came undone again. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on there. Now I'm just going to put some glue around the back and the front of the shoe so they kind of just hold on. Like that. So now she's got her shoes on. I'm just going to do the same to him. Like I said, I decided not to cut the chopsticks off of him. I'm just going to take some of this foam here. Just need another glue stick. Where did I put the glue sticks? Oh, they got moved, but they're still right in front of me, just a little to the side, and then I can't see them. Okay. Put lots of glue down there, and then a chunk of this foam. Push it into that foot, and the other one, same thing. I just need a bit bigger piece here. Just get hot glue down in there. A little harder because this piece of foam that I use for these boots here is this thicker foam. Just a little harder to get this pushed down. But once I get it worked around, I should be able to just get it in there. There. Now I've got the foam down inside the shoe. And now I'm just going to put some glue down in there. And some glue down in here. And push the chopsticks in. And I just got to line up the back of the shoe to make sure I got the left and right going on the right feet. And now just a little bit of glue around here. Glue the shoes on in place. Just takes a second longer for this glue to hold this felt together because it's thicker. I'll hold that for another second here. And I can do, the wire's just not long enough where I've got my glue gun plugged in. Put some more glue down there, some more glue on that side. Same thing, just gonna glue the feet together. A little bit of glue, so this doesn't want to stay glued. Okay, well, while that is setting up, I'll probably have to do a little bit more gluing on that. I'll just come back to her. She's a little crooked. She just wants to stand a little crooked right now. It's okay. I will play around with her feet and her body and get her more straightened out. So now I got to make her hat. So I'm actually going to give them both white hats because I was going to do red and white, but I remember like just do, I don't know, just so much red and so much white. I'm just trying to figure this out. Okay, so I've got this material for his beard. Okay. I think I'm going going to give him the, I don't know, maybe I'll just stick with the same color of their shoes will be the color of their hats. I'm just going to grab a piece of this felt here. I'm just going to cut this extra piece off. Just going to cut this off here. I just want a nice big square. Same with this one. I'm just going to I just take this because I just want to make it into a cone shape like this. So I'm just going to put a strip of hot glue down one side. And then roll this side onto it. And this hot glue just does not want to stick tonight. It just wants to stick to everything but the felt. See, just wants to stick to everything. Okay, and then same to this one. I'm going to figure, okay. So I'm rolling where the inside, or the outside I'm using inside, just so when I go, I'm going to turn it right side. So I'm kind of just making this backwards. That way you get kind of the hidden seam. I think I'm just going to kind of roll this, get the cone shape. I just got to hold this in place. Set this one aside to kind of finish drying, and I'm just going to take this one and I'm going to try to get this to come back right side out. It may not, this is just a thicker felt. I'm trying to get this done. I broke my thumbnail with the sandpaper earlier, so it kind of hurts. But I've got some chopsticks beside me here, so I can just kind of push this point out. There's the point. I really want the point to come up. And when you do this, you're supposed to not be able to see the glue, but for whatever reason, this just didn't quite work. So you get some of the glue. That's okay. It's going to be like the back of her hat. Or be the front. Okay, I gotta trim this off. So now she's got her hat, and I've got his hat, and I'm gonna flip his right side as well. If I would have realized how thick this felt was, I wouldn't be trying to flip it around, but it's okay. Just going to use this chopstick and just try to get the hat. just does not want to go the rest of the way through. Just can't seem to get the point to want to come up anymore. That's okay. I will just add like a pom-pom or something to the top of their hats, so it won't be quite so noticeable. So I'm just trimming that extra piece off the back of his hat. There's his hat. So now I'm going to do, he needs this beard. So I've got these different kinds of white material here. Unless these two are the same. No, I guess there's just two kinds. Those ones are the same. So I've got to decide which one I want to use. I think I'm going to use this one that's more shiny. I'm cutting this. You always have to cut from the back. So I'm just going to figure about how wide do I need the beard to be. So I'm just kind of eyeballing a chopstick. So I want it about 4. I want it to be about 4 inches. About here. And just want to kind of shape it. I'm just going to fold this kind of in half and just kind of follow that pattern on this side. I know this is not how you're supposed to do it, but for whatever reason, I'm just not able to get it to cut properly. Sometimes I just can't get it to work, and so I'm just gonna use the scissors and just kind of cut from the back. You don't want to cut through all the fur, because when you cut through the fur, then you get these like choppy pieces. Just to prevent all that. That's a good size for his beard. And of course, he's going to cover up the big heart that's on him. Maybe if I just make it a little shorter. Okay, I'll just do that. I'm just going to cut a little bit off along the top up here, just so so you'll be able to tell that he does have a heart on his shirt, like that. I think that would be good. Okay, I'm just going to glue this on, and he needs a nose. So I've got a few little wooden beads here, and I got some plastic beads out because I couldn't find my wooden beads at first. And then my wooden bead container was all over the floor, and I had to clean it up, but I just grabbed a handful of them. So I'm just going to give him this little dark bead. And it's gonna be right there. Okay, I guess I'm not going to go searching for that. I guess I'll just have a darker one. I'm just going to put the glue on and put his nose right there. And same with her. I'll just take her hat off for a second. I'm going to glue her nose on. I'm going to give her this smaller white nose. Just going to stick her nose on right there. Like that. I'm just going to turn him so I can see him, so I can get his beard on around the nose. And just going to put a little notch right here just so I can get it to go around the nose. And just put some glue. And just glue his beard on. His beard is on, so you can still kind of tell he's got a heart on his shirt. Just going to push his beard up a little higher. See, because I cut this faux fur all wrong, so now I've got all the little flaky pieces that you didn't want to get. But I just didn't want to, I don't know, just days when you just want to, you know what you should and shouldn't do, and you just, some days you just want to get a project done. Just going to put some glue around the inside of the hat here and just glue it in place. So that he is finished. Set him aside. Now I got to do her hair. I had the yarn. Where did I set it? I think just over by my sewing machine. This is the nice big ball of yarn that I was using for my Christmas decor. So I've got this much. Whatever bundle is left is in this bundle. This is what I've left of the first roll. So I'm just going to try to find right the beginning of this, or at least an end is. Let's see, I'm going to decide how much I want to give her. Like there. I'm just going to do quite a few strands. There. I could braid it, but I don't feel like braiding. I think I'm just gonna give her a whole bunch of strands like that. I'm just gonna okay. I'm not quite sure how long these strands are. I'm just going to quickly measure. So they're about 9 inches. I'm just going to put some glue up here. Just going to glue each one just kind of in place by itself. I'm just going to get another glue stick. Because I found this, I don't do it every time, it kind of depends, but put a little dot of hot glue on your glue stick and it holds it to the other one. And I said, I don't remember where I had seen that. I can't remember the channel. I can't find her anymore. So I'm not sure if, you know, she's no longer on YouTube, or, you know, if I just can't remember her name, so I can't find her channel, but she does a lot of stuff with hot glue guns, and that was one of her tips. And I try to do it, but sometimes I don't. I will say, like this time here, I put too much glue on the glue stick, and then it does get caught in this trigger part. And then also find sometimes if you put too much glue on there, and then you just kind of let it, when it kind of just hardens inside the glue gun, it causes a problem too. But for the most part, it's just a small little dot. You don't want to put too much glue. See, all I'm doing is just going to put one more row. I wasn't quite sure how many rows or strands of hair I wanted to give her. But when I turn around, you'll be able to see. So all I did was I just glued the one right across by her nose, and then a second one, and then a third one. So she's kind of got like long hair. And I will trim it so they're more even. So do I want to give her another one just to make it a little thicker? I might. I think I'm just going to glue another piece between the top two, just so she's got some little more fuller hair. And then when I put the hat on, just gonna glue her hat on. I'm gonna put some glue right inside here of her hat. I don't know if anybody noticed, but I glued the buttons the kind of the wrong way. So on her, at least I can kind of cover up the little hole on his. I can't. But when I realized that, it's kind of like, well, if I take it apart, I've done that where I've taken the noses off the gnomes and then it leaves a big mess. So I just didn't really want to do that. So now I've got her hair. And I just got to fix her. I'm just going to even up her hair here. Just so all the strands are about the same length. Or at least the same length on each side. There they are. And I just want to do some more embellishments on their shoes and their hats. So I have these packs of stickers. Just get some of this stuff out of my way. I'm just going to move them out of the way. I got these stickers from Dollarama. So I got these heart-shaped ones. These pack was $1.75 for this pack. And then I got this pack here. I paid $2 for this pack. Again, they're all from Dollarama, so $2 for this pack, and $1.25 for these ones. Now these ones I think are, they have the texture, I haven't opened them yet, but they kind of look or feel like they're going to be cardboard. These ones I know are the little crystal looking gemstone ones. So I'm just curious as to what these ones feel like. I don't think I'm going to use these big ones. I like the gemstone looking ones. I just want to know what these feel like. If I was right or wrong, if they're cardboard or what they're. No, I was wrong. They're not cardboard. They're just like the standard puffy stickers. Like that. So they're just like the standard puffy stickers like you used to get in the 80s and 90s. If anybody remember, collecting stickers was a really important big deal. Let's see. These ones are a hard shape, so I think these are going to be like the rhinestone ones as well. Oh, these are like the rhinestones. They come attached in a big strip like that. So those would be nice to work with when I do some other things. When I do my floral arrangements, I'll probably use these ones on my little vase. But on these guys, I've decided to use these ones. Every package of stickers is different. How do you get it opened? Okay. These ones do not come in a reusable bag. Okay, so I'm going to give this little guy, I'm going to start with him. On his shoes, I'm going to give him the little white, although they look more like a very light pink, but almost white. So I'm going to give these ones on his shoes, on the sides of either shoe. Just going to put a little bit of hot glue just so they stick a bit better. Try not to glue my fingers to everything. Okay, and then I'm gonna give her, on her shoes, I like the darker pink. So I'm gonna give her a darker pink. I'm trying to decide where I want to put it. I think I'm gonna put hers, the same spot as his, just kind of like up here at the. And I also want to give her the red one as well. Oops. I also want to give a little red one in the, maybe like in her toes, but I'm not going to do the big one. I'm just going to do a small little heart because I think it looks so cute. And I know there is stuff stuck to the back of her. I don't know what I had on the table. You probably see it's like funny, like white, dusty stuff. I don't know what that is. Something that was on the table and then all the glue kind of just attracted to it. So There's my little girl gnome, and there's my little boy gnome. You know, they're kind of a little crooked, so I'm going to have to play around with the stuffing and the chopsticks to get them straighter. But I do want to do something at the top of their hats. Like I said, I couldn't find my wooden beads, so I did grab my plastic beads. I think I might just stick a plastic bead at the top of their hats. Give him a red one and her a white one. All this faux fur everywhere because, like I said, I know I cut it wrong. I'm saying to cut properly, and then I cut it wrong because I was in a hurry. There. Give him one too. And I do like the idea of bending the hats down. Just got to see which way the hat goes. This glue is just so hot and so sticky that just I don't like these glue sticks. I don't know where I got these glue sticks from. I think these must be the ones I bought from that other dollar store that I didn't like. But I'll never buy them again because that dollar store closed out. It's now a Dollarama. So, okay, I just got to turn them to me because I just want to see which way I want to. We're going to sit like that. So if I bend her hat down, bend his hat down, so you kind of get that heart-shaped pattern if I can. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. But I just want to bend. Nope, it's. Maybe I'll just leave their hat straight for now. I'll play around with them once the glue for the beads has dried a little more. So I just don't want to wreck them anymore. I gotta fix her leg again because the glue on her leg kind of came undone, so the stuffing is kind of coming out of her leg, but I will fix that in a few moments. I'm just trying to decide, do I want to put any bows on her hair? I don't think so right now. I think I am done for right now. So there is my little Valentine Gnomes out of a pair of socks. The little baby favor booties and some felt, faux fur, and beads. So I'll set them aside and I'll show you. I did finish the signs. I already showed you this one. I've got this one completed. Now what I like to do is do some little bit of extra sanding. Just had the sanding block, the other one, I can't see it now. But if I just do some extra sanding, just kind of like around there, then I kind of sand off some more of this paper so it's not such straight to the edge. There's different ways you can do it. But then when you sand it away from the edge a little more, then you get some of the wood showing up around the edge, and then it just, I don't know, for some reason on certain projects it gives it that more polished finish. It looks more like it's a store-bought. And then if you go over top, like I will be going over top in a little bit with the Mod Podge, and then you'll really notice the wood. Just that little bit of that border wood will just come right out. So that's just an extra step, and it does take a little longer to get that. Other one I've seen other people do, if you want the more distressed look, which is kind of what you get when you do that, but then they kind of like over top of the whole thing. I don't like the full distressed look. I just like it so you get more of the wood around the edge, and it kind of helps define each letter a little more. Some of them are harder, some parts of the letters are just harder to do that, even with, like I said, like a nail file works good, or just take a smaller piece of the paper and just, it'd be really hard to do with my thumbnail, but just kind of get in there. So like working around here, like a little tiny piece of the sandpaper works good, but I said a nail file works even best just to really get in there. And I don't have a nail file in my craft room at the moment because I broke them all at Christmas doing my Christmas ones. So there is that one. So when I flip it to the back, you can see that it's all nice and clean. There might be a few places where it was a little harder, like in around this V and in around this part of the L. It was just kind of hard right now, and then of course this little part here. So there might be a little bit of the paper still kind of in some of the little corners. But other than that, I really like the way this one turned out, and I can't wait till I actually go over with the gloss. Right now this is just matte, but I do want to go over with the gloss. I just can't get my container open. And then this is the other one, so it's the double-sided, and I've even got down in this one now has been done on both sides, except there's a little bit of glue stuck that I still have to just kind of work and get off. I'll probably work on the next couple days when my thumb stops hurting. Like that. And then this is the other side, and I do want to show, like, this corner here, I did tear it. I came around this corner too fast because it's more of a point, and I thought it was more rounded, and however I went, because you want to go one direction right across each thing, and I came around and I went right around and I peeled the paper up. So I'm just going to glue this back down, and the little chunk that came off, I do have it on the table, so I'm going to just try to see if I can just kind of fix it and glue that little piece off back on, and it'll kind of give it that more like kind of more of a distressed kind of look. But this one I did double-sided, so I'm going to attach this to something. I haven't quite decided what, and it's going to be in my floral arrangement that I'm be making in the next couple days. So when this sits on my dining room table, depending on which side of the table you're on, you're going to be able to see it. Versus something like this, because this just has these, because this is love. There's no really point in doing the back. I mean, you could, but it's this one takes so much hard work to get around all these little letterings that I might just paint the back, or I might just, if I don't want to, I could just go over with the Mod Podge on the back just to kind of give it a nice finish. And then if I'm going to paint or Mod Podge, then I would do all the other around here as well. But that's what I've been working on yesterday and today. So I did a total of like these two crafts, but this is kind of almost like a double one in itself. But it was an easier sign to work with. And the two gnomes out of the pair of little kids' mittens. I hope everybody liked my tutorial on what I've made today and yesterday. And then today was Groundhog Day, and I do have a bonus thing to show you what I made with my Day Home kids. So just give me one moment to grab that. I know my lighting is now off. My tripod just tipped over as I was about to hit record. Okay, so today, like I said, today was Groundhog Day, so I make these like every year with my little Day Home kids. So it's very simple. So the little groundhog pops out of his little den, of his little hibernating den, whatever burrow, whatever it is. So it's very simple. It's just a little paper cup. This year I used the foam, but I have done it with construction paper, so just glue some foam around to make it look like grass. And then to make him, it's just a craft stick, popsicle stick, just kind of a little face out of the brown and pink foam, and I gave him little googly eyes with the hearts and a little black pom-pom. Make this every year. Now I was looking up the groundhog this morning and just reading the predictions, and the majority of them said 6 more weeks of winter. Only the stupid one in Ontario said spring right around the corner, which with what we've had this week where I live, like today I drove my kids to school. I even picked them up after school. Minus 35 with the wind chill. You know, it's just, it's too cold. But so that's what we make. I said I've made these before with construction paper, so again, it's very easy to do. The other thing is, and I was looking up the predictions of the groundhogs, I just discovered that go Nova Scotia, you have a lobster out there, the Atlantic provinces. So next year when I do my Groundhog Day craft, I'm going to let the kids choose if they want to do a groundhog or a lobster. But this year I think my groundhog looks like more like a bear. I've made them in the past where sometimes they look like cats or dogs, but you know, it's a cute little thing. So I just wanted to say to everybody, thank you for watching and subscribing, and please take a look at my other channel, Beauty on a Budget with Heather G. I'm trying to get my name straight because I said I've got the 2 channels. This has been really fun for the past, I think, 15 months I've been doing this channel. So I decided to start a second channel because there are so many things I want to do that I just think that, you know, to separate the 2 channels based on what they are just made more sense. So that's what I decided to do. As far as I can tell, I don't think there's any amount of YouTube channels, like what's the max you can have. I mean, I have no intention to have more than 2 channels, but this has just been so much fun for the past 15 months. I also can't believe my last count of subscribers, that 1.56K. Just amazing. I didn't think I would get, you know, I said when I got my first couple hundred, I was moved to tears. When I hit 1,000, that was just impressive. And my numbers, like I said, every week seem to be jumping by at least 10 a week. So come on, everybody, just keep subscribing, keep watching, and I'll see you all in my next videos.